over 600,000 people go missing in the United States each year. Tens of thousands remain mysteriously missing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mysteriously Missing. I'm Justine.
I'm Karen. Welcome back. This episode takes place on Wisteria Island. It's also known as Christmas Tree Island and is approximately 400 feet off of Key West, Florida.
We are going to be talking about Robyn Christine Ford, and she has been missing since August 29th of 2016. Robyn was last seen in Key West, Florida between 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock in the morning. She had moved to the area from Aurora, Illinois, and was living on a sailboat with her boyfriend. She has never been heard from again.
Yes, and they're reporting her missing from Wisteria Island, and the nickname by the locals is Christmas Tree Island, and that comes from the large number of Australian pine trees that grow there. So large numbers of liveaboard boats are moored near the island, which has recently become the center of a debate over development. So liveaboards are where people are living on their boats near the island, or
just like
near.
Robyn is, basically.
Right. That's what we assumed from the Charlie Project report. Wisteria Island was created in the late 1890s and early 1900s as a result of U.S. Navy dredging of Key West Harbor. It is called an unmanicured wilderness, a place to gather around a campfire. The last desert island in Key West Harbor. Developers say, though, that this is where the homeless hide and the garbage piles up. So per a report from Key West newspaper, and they also did the Blue Paper YouTube video published August 12, 2017, developers cite security and environmental issues and want the Bureau of Land Management to cite trespass charges to anyone who would remain on the island after 5 p.m. But people who boat over to use the island say it's a place to come over in the evening. They bring their boats out, they sit and relax, they let the kids swim. Jessica, the head chef at the La Mire Hotel and Dewey House, stated she comes to Christmas Tree every day since she moved on her boat. She lets her dog out, walks on the beach, and enjoys the peaceful serenity of the island. I would hate to see this place get developed, she said. The 5 o'clock curfew would mean the end of camping.
So in May of 2017, a large community effort had cleaned up the island and moved every bit of trash off of this island. The homeless people living on the island were helped to relocate, and it's one of the locals' few luxuries, a place to gather with family and friends away from crazy Key West.
Looks like they cleaned up the island May 2017 after Robyn went missing in August 2016.
Right, so a couple months later they did all this. Now, Robyn is described by family members as carefree and living the dream life in Florida. She has always been the free-spirited and adventurous one. She loved the water, her sister Tamara said, and Robyn was very spiritual. She is also known to be responsible and resourceful. An example of Robyn's fun-loving side, she wrapped herself up to surprise her dad at Christmas a few years ago. And then we wanted to add this little audio clip of Robyn filming herself as she rides her bike down the street in Key West.
The cool thing about Key West, they got music everywhere. Bands, DJs, biking to work, so much fun. Park the car, go for a ride, hear music everywhere. It gets better as the night goes on. Anyways, I love it here. Bye.
You just really enjoy watching this video. I think everybody should. You get to know her and how she is a free spirit and, very nice person. Like, you want to be her friend.
Right. She just seems so loving and, just kind of goes with the flow almost.
And was living the dream life.
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
Now, she is affectionately known as Rofo, probably for Robyn Ford, and Robyn is a graduate of West Aurora High School and Aurora University. Her date of birth is March 25th, 1966. She was 50 years old when she went missing, but she is currently 53 years old. And according to Charlie Project, she is about 5'5", between 5'5" and 5'9", but according to NamUs, her height is about 5'9", and she weighs around 140 pounds. She's Caucasian with red hair or auburnish colored hair. Some news agencies report her hair as being brown. Her hair is straight and shoulder length, and she has blue eyes. She also has a scar on her cheek. And when she went missing, she was wearing a yellow metal necklace with a round 6-point pendant, and she does have her ears pierced.
Yeah, mentioning the scar, we didn't really notice anything, but
Right.
not quite sure where that is on her cheek. Robyn has a large family. She has 10 surviving siblings. Her sister, Tamara Sanchez from Texas, was helping her father find Robyn and served as point person for the Key West police. Stacy Ford was also helping and lives in Jacksonville, Florida. Her father, Herb Ford, and some of Robyn's siblings were living in the Aurora, Illinois area when Robyn went missing. Family was everything to Robyn's father, who has 3 generations of photos prominently displayed in long rows on his living room wall. But as can be the case with a family so large, the family has also experienced more than their share of loss in recent years. Herb's wife, Lois, died in 2012. His daughter, Marcia Scarpetta, died 8 months later. And his 22-year-old grandson, Stephen Ford, died in China, where he was teaching English to young students. And sadly, Herb, Robyn's father, has passed away. Robyn is a mother of 4. One of her children is a son that posts on her missing Facebook account, Alex Nunez. And another post that we thought we had seen was from another son, possibly Robert. Tammy Ford states that Robyn's 4 children are doing the best they can. Robyn raised them to be strong and independent. And also comes into play in this episode is Robyn's boyfriend, Danny Malone. Danny moved back to North Carolina after Robyn went missing. Now, we're not sure where she works, but on the video, we saw her riding her bike, and there was a caption there that said she was going to work. So she probably worked on Key West.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
And so her transportation is a bike, and then they mention a dinghy probably out to the boat.
Mm-hmm. Now, getting into this timeline, we did want to just let you guys know we tried really hard to piece the timeline together as best as we could, and these are based on news clippings and Facebook posts. We kind of had to do a little bit of research here.
Yeah, it was difficult because there isn't a lot of information that's being provided.
Right. So now, starting in January 2016, the water is what brought Robyn to Key West in January. Robyn was living on a sailboat with her boyfriend, Danny, who we mentioned. March 2016, Robyn got arrested for a misdemeanor DUI.
This DUI comes into play in the timeline when she has to appear for a court appearance.
Right. Now, going into August 27th of 2016, this is a Saturday, Robyn was fed up with her boyfriend, Danny. She suspected that he was seeing an old fling that had come back to the island. Witnesses said she was screaming and yelling at him that night. Now, Robyn's sister said the last anyone in the family had heard from her was when Robyn called her son, who was living in Florida. Tammy Ford said sometime between Saturday evening and Sunday morning on August 27th through the 28th was her last ping or phone call, and law enforcement has all of this information.
So it sounds like law enforcement is keeping that information tight to the vest and not really giving it out to the public.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm getting from it.
August 29th through 30th, Monday, Tuesday, Robyn was last seen in the early hours between 2 and 3 a.m. She was last seen by campers, so it sounds like she's on Wisteria Island camping. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office would later say they believed Robyn was on the island and in the early morning hours of August 30th, but the Sheriff's Office shared no other details. So again, keeping some of that information. Yeah. And on that Tuesday, August 30th, is when Robyn failed to show up for a court appearance, and that was regarding the misdemeanor DUI.
So now it's August 31st. It's a Wednesday. She missed a flight to Charlotte, North Carolina to meet a really good friend. Her friend, Lizanne Wood, stated that she had given Robyn a plane ticket to fly via Delta Airlines from Miami to Charlotte, North Carolina. Yet Robyn had never showed up, and no one in the family was notified about this.
You know, that makes me think of a couple of things. First of all, it was very nice of Lizanne to give her an airline ticket, which means that maybe Robyn wasn't working, and she decided to help her out by giving her that plane ticket. The other thing is that, Robyn kind of lived an independent life, and, she didn't really keep her family up on everything that was going on, because when they weren't notified that she had missed the flight.
Right. So maybe she had not told anyone she had planned to go see her friend, or
her friends don't keep in touch with a family, and Robyn just kind of has a little private life that she lives there in Key West.
Yeah, maybe. Now, a warrant was subsequently issued for Robyn's arrest for failure to appear in court, and she was considered a fugitive. Stacy Ford, which is Robyn's sister, said communication ceased a little more than a week before Labor Day. I kept telling family I'm worried about Robyn. This is odd, Stacy said. Family members were notified about her missing when the local people stated she was last seen in Key West, at which time a full-blown investigation began with the family, friends, law officials, and news outlets to try to locate her, or at least get more information of her whereabouts.
Then, on September 10th, her sister reported Robyn missing to the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. But she and other family members grew frustrated as it took officials too long to open an investigation. Something happened to her, Stacy said. It's very difficult to understand. She would not just disappear, and if she did go off to the ocean, if somebody said maybe she drowned, there's no belongings. Her dinghy, nothing has come out, said her sister, Tamara Sanchez. And subsequently, it was reported there were cameras in some of the areas of the island, yet the family was told, number one, the main ones where she would have come to shore, probably on Key West, definitely on Key West, were down that weekend. Number two, the area she had parked her bike that went missing didn't have active cameras. The Key West Police Department did look into this from what the family was told. So it sounds like her bike's missing.
Yeah, that, and it's a little bit weird how they said the cameras weren't working the weekend that she disappeared.
Yeah, maybe that happens all the time due to weather,
maybe, but it
or
just
not
seems
keeping them up, but it seems
a little bit strange,
odd that it happened right when they needed to see those.
Exactly. Now, September 22nd, 2016, and this is per the Chicago Tribune, Herb Ford had a lot to deal with as he faced terminal cancer in the large 3-story home on View Street in Aurora, where he and his wife Lois had raised their 12 children. Herb, who was 83, wanted more than anything to find out what happened to his daughter Robyn. She would have never been gone this long without calling, insisted Stacy Ford, who moved to Jacksonville, Florida from Aurora 4 years ago at her big sister's urging. She cares about our dad way too much and just vanished without a trace.
It sounds like Robyn encouraged her to move down to Florida then.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Now, detectives are talking with friends and acquaintances in an attempt to find her. The Fords, while relieved police are investigating her disappearance, say they have also been frustrated by the many conflicting stories coming from witnesses.
Now, October 29th, 2016, Robyn's dad, Herb, died on Saturday, less than 2 hours after the Cubs finished their first home game of the World Series against the Cleveland Indians at Wrigley Field. Herb Ford didn't quite make it to see whether or not his beloved Cubs won it all, but the 83-year-old Aurora fan at least got to listen to his team play at Wrigley Field in the World Series, a dream he'd held on to since he was just a kid, and got to see them at the ballpark in the series back in 1945. Gathered around him at Seasons Hospice in Naperville, watching the game on television, were all 10 of his surviving children. Herb could not open his eyes for Friday's game, so the family put a radio next to his ear, and there is no doubt he enjoyed it, insisted daughter Tamara. The nurse told us hearing is the last sense to go, she said, and Dad was alert enough he could raise his eyebrows to indicate yes and lower his chin for no. It's too bad they didn't win that game. Tamara assured her dad as he entered his final chapter in life that the family will continue to do all they can to find their missing sibling, Robyn, but that when he joins the others on the other side to please send us a sign so we know where her body is. I know how strong-willed he is, she said. I have no doubt he will get that sign.
So now it's March 27th, 2017. A NamUs account was created for Robyn, and there is a $1,000 reward offered by Crime Stoppers. Now, August 17th of 2017, this is a year after Robyn had disappeared. An update from Find Robyn Ford Facebook page read that next week will mark the 1-year anniversary of Rofo's disappearance. Our family and friends are seeking any tips to help find Robyn. We do know that Marcos is not cooperating with the police and is not to be found. If you have any photos of Marcos from Key West, please post them here for us to help the police locate him. And just so you know, Marcos is the one who had helped Robyn when she moved to Key West.
So they'd like more information on Marcus.
Yeah, definitely. Now, we do know that Lizanne Woods, who is the one that we talked about who bought her that plane ticket, still needs to speak with the police about the airline ticket she had purchased. However, later there was a post on Facebook that said the issue with the airline ticket is dropped and the detectives already dealt with it.
So that's a non-issue.
Now, we do know that people have changed their stories about the timeline of when they last saw or spoke with Robyn. They also know that Robyn and Danny Malone, who was her boyfriend, seemed to have broken up shortly before she disappeared, yet he said that was normal. They would have a fight and then they would get back together. So it kind of seemed like a on and off thing with them.
September 8th, 2017, per Tammy Ford. I want to thank each and every one of our followers for the prayers over the past year for Robyn's whereabouts, answers of where she could be, and for our family. But the tables are turned this weekend with this monster of a hurricane headed your way. Irma, as it approaches Key West, Miami, Jacksonville, and the great state of Florida, may you all stay safe, dry, and out of its path. And then Hurricane Irma made landfall on Sunday morning, September 10th, 2017, as a Category 4 hurricane with winds of 130 miles per hour. The people in that area had to work hard to rebuild their paradise after the hurricane.
That's so scary and just sad.
Yeah, and it kind of, when I'm thinking about the investigation of Robyn, it kind of just like took away any kind of evidence or maybe energy towards that, because it just kind of wiped everything out.
Exactly.
No, I mean, not everything out, but they did have a lot of devastation.
Yeah. Now, this was posted on Facebook by Tammy Ford on April 20th of 2018, so about a year ago. Each day we have a sunrise and should feel blessed that we can see it if we choose. We are asking for any new tips and leads to get answers about my sister Robyn. Some people think she is alive and staying off the grid. Others tend to think she perished with the sea. Some people think they have seen her in Key West within the past month. Our family, friends, and Monroe County Sheriff's Office have not given up to find the truth and answers. Please continue to pray for her safety if alive, or help her find a way to reach out to us otherwise. Thank you for your support.
And then 2 years after Robyn went missing on August 28, 2018, please light a candle at 8 p.m. CST in honor for Robyn Ford, her family, and her friends. This is a very trying and difficult time for them all right now, so let's show our loving and caring support and awareness in honor of their missing mother, daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, and friend.
And just so everyone knows, the weather that day was about 86 degrees, and this is per the Farmer's Almanac. The highs being 86 and lows being 81, and the winds were about 17 miles per hour.
But someone stated there was a storm that came over, so the Farmer's Almanac might be loosely accurate.
Now, we're going to get into some of the possibilities that could have happened with Robyn. There's just so much going on that we don't really...
Well, it just seems like she was on Wisteria Island.
Right.
She was partying, perhaps, and decided to leave at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Right.
So that would have been either a dinghy back or a swim back.
Although swimming at 2 in the morning, it just seems a little bit difficult. I mean, she seemed like a strong swimmer because she'd been swimming back and forth, but...
I think when you live in that area, though, it's kind of a native thing to do. The locals do a lot of swimming, and at night it might not be so unusual. There is a post from Danny on the Finding Robyn Ford Facebook page, and he stated, I've seen her swim back and forth from island to sailboat Isabel, carrying stuff in a bucket. And she pulled me in a dinghy back to the boat with a rope in her mouth.
She seemed, I mean, like,
So
she could have done
swimmer.
it, yeah. But again, I don't know, like 2 o'clock in the morning, it just seems such a weird time of day. But
Yeah, so that's a possibility that maybe she tried for a swim and it didn't work out so well. But, we haven't found her. She's not been found yet. So,
and I know that comment that Danny had posted, he did mention that her bike was gone as well. So she had a bike that she left.
it sounds like on Key West.
Right.
And so when she was out on the sailboat, she'd swim or take the dinghy back to Key West and then use her bike to get around Key West. And then that video we had an audio clip of. But yet the bike's missing. So that's really strange.
Yeah, so either someone stole the bike or she was on the bike and just disappeared.
Right.
I mean...
And it might be common that bikes get stolen.
Yeah. Now, there was something else a little bit sketchy. Kenny, who is Danny's friend, and Danny is Robyn's boyfriend, had apparently told her to take the beer and leave sometime in the middle of the night. And that's just a little bit strange. He's almost like kicking her out of the house.
Something didn't go right.
Yeah. So I don't know. Either they're in like
kicking him off the island, maybe. Wisteria Island, they were there partying and kicking him off the island, just saying go.
Maybe, yeah. I just thought that was a little bit weird. And he just kind of kicked her out. But
So got in an argument. She went missing before they cleaned up the island of the homeless and all the trash there. And, I'm wondering if it was a little edgy there, like maybe there was some drug dealing going on or something like that. And there could have been an element there that may have been a little difficult and she could have gotten into some trouble.
yeah, I was
Not that she
thinking-
did drugs or anything, but it just, that population can, if it's dark and at night and in the middle of the night, things could go south.
Well, especially if you're hanging out with the wrong crowd, even though she may not have been doing drugs or, been a part of that. But once you hang out with those people, you're kind of sucked into it almost. But
Possibility.
There was a picture that was on their Facebook page for Robyn. Someone had claimed that it was Robyn in the photo and that she was traveling. And they had even stated that maybe she was living the life of a pirate on a sailboat with this person because there's two people in the picture. But the family had posted that they don't believe that that's Robyn in this photo.
Yeah, and Tammy, her sister, posted it. She would not, Rofo, which they affectionately call her, would not put her family through all of this pain.
Yeah, you think she would just let someone know. I mean,
she would.
all
with
of
her 4
siblings.
kids, and her siblings, her father
I
dying.
know.
Robyn, if she would contact her family.
Right. So, I mean, if anyone has any information about Robyn, you can always contact the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, and their phone number is 305-293-7407.
Or you can contact us at mysteriously-missing411@gmail.com.
You can also look at the Facebook page that was created for Robyn, and it's called Find Robyn Ford Facebook. And there's about 550 members on there, so quite a lot of people looking for her. You can always email us, check out our Instagram, share our YouTube video, just help spread the word about Robyn and help out her family. So thank you guys so much for listening.
Yes, let's bring Robyn home. Thank you for listening.